Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hey, Janaki, welcome. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Gauranga Nityananda. All right. So let's see here. Oops, what do we got here? Welcome, everybody. So thanks for coming. Krishna, Krishna. We'll be in Belgium tomorrow, or today, actually, in the afternoon. My afternoon. Yeah, let's see here. Let's do it all, chop it together here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, 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 Radha, Radha, Krishna, 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 Radha, Krishna. Radha, Krishna, Radha, Krishna, Radha, Krishna, Radha, Krishna, Radha. Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha. Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna, Radha. Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gora Chandra, Gora Chandra, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Nityananda, 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 Gora Chandra, Gora Chandra, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gora Chandra, Gora Chandra. Nityananda, 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 Nityananda. Gora Chandra, Gora Chandra, Gora Chandra. Gora Chandra, Gora Chandra, Nityananda. Shri Advaita, Shri Advaita, Shri Advaita, Shri Advaita, Shri Advaita, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gora Chandra, Gora Chandra, Gora Chandra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Radha, Krishna, Radha, Krishna, 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 Radha, 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 Krishna, 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 Radha, Radha, Krishna, Krishna, Radha, Krishna, 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 Radha, Krishna, Radha, Krishna, 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 Radha, Krishna, Radha, Krishna, 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 Radha, Krishna, Radha, Krishna. Ah, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Ooh, Krishna, 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 Krishna. Oh, I got a special book here, I think. Let's read this. Check it out. This is 10th Canto with a commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Got it for my birthday from Noodles. Let's check this out. This will be a Rasic commentary here. Oh, yeah. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Uh-huh. Okay, let's see if it works. Hmm. Here it goes. Srimad Bhagavatam, commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Let's start from the beginning, the advent of Lord Krishna. Hmm. This is text number 3, 10th canto. Mhm, mhm. O best of the Munis, you have also described the descendants of Yadu, who were very pious and strictly adherent to religious principles. Now, if you will, kindly describe the wonderful and glorious activities of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, who appeared in the Yadu dynasty with Baladev, his plenary expansions. Commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So this Lalita just came. So this is the commentary. This is the 10th canto and commentary by the Rasic devotee Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Hmm. Hey, Sachi, welcome. Hmm. Parikshit addresses Shukadev as the king of the Munis. Muni Satama, because as a sage, Muni, uh, Sukadev Goswami is completely knowledgeable. And as a devotee, he is chief since he established the supreme position of bhakti. Bhakti. Yeah, because it gives you the confidential Vedanta. Bhakti Vedanta. Vishnu Virani. Please describe the heroic exploits, Virani, of he who has appeared as that person whose Amsa or Vishnu in Vaikuntha. Another meaning, please describe the exploits partially, since it is impossible to completely describe Krishna's pastimes. Translation: the super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the cause of the cosmic manifestation, appeared in the dynasty of Yadu. Please tell me elaborately about his glorious activities and character from the beginning to the end of his life. Mm. It's kind of interesting. Krishna is the cause of the cosmic manifestation, this cosmic manifestation, this material world and universe. See, because how is he the cause? Well, he is who he is, right? And he's a person, right? An eternal person. See, and he's the cause of the cosmic manifestation simply because his shadow is cast. So Some small portion of the living entities, the Vedas say one fourth of the living entities took shelter of the cosmic manifestations. All these universes. They, one fourth of the living beings took shelter. See, they thought, oh yeah, let's they got confused by this because it's the shadow of God, and they thought the shadow was the darkness is the light. That's even the Bible talks about this. Be careful, Isaiah said, be careful you don't accept the darkness as the light. And that's what basically everyone has done. The demons and the demigods have taken shelter of the darkness as the light, whether it's in the modes of nature. Even the mode of goodness is there's darkness there too. It's a covering. See, so the Lord, just because he is, his shadow is cast as the material world, and the living beings come to take shelter of that darkness and think it's the light. It gives them some kind of a glow. See, but it doesn't give them the real strength that they need. I think we were talking about this yesterday, the importance of the helper. See, so here, the whole thing, Krishna consciousness, here we're taking shelter of what is of the light. See, conclusive truth. The truth will set you free. See, the truth, there is a spiritual potency, and we're taking shelter of that spiritual potency. See, so the Lord, as Lord Chaitanya, came to give the ability to take shelter of that spiritual potency, because we're in the mud, man. This is mud here. We're covered all over with the mud, but the Lord is giving us his helping hand, by giving us the Srimad Bhagavatam, these conceptions. He's giving us this Bhakti Lata Bij, this attachment to taking shelter of the spiritual potency, man, which gives us real life, gives us energy, gives us in real intelligence, the essence of intelligence. It's amazing, man. We're really fortunate. So Amy Rose says, I just want to take shelter with you. Yeah, so let us all just take shelter of the spiritual potency. Let us take shelter of the conclusive truth. Let us help the living beings understand where the real light is, where real strength is, real knowledge is, real beauty is. Otherwise, look at it. Men and women, they're all looking at themselves through the black mirror of the phone. It's a black mirror. It's dark, and you're looking at your selfies. What is this body? It has temporary beauty and all that. Real beauty is conclusive truth, man. Yeah, like Veda Vyas, he was an ugly, physically ugly person, but he wrote the beautiful Bhagavatam, beautiful eternal truth. See? And those who take shelter of this beautiful Bhagavatam become eternally liberated. Take shelter of these conceptions, these truths. There's the material energy which people have taken shelter of, and it's darkened their minds and darkened their hearts. And they can't get out of it because they don't know anything but the darkness. See? And we teaching Guru Tattva, take shelter of those who have found shelter at the feet of the absolute truth, and they love it. See? And their love is strong, is powerful, is pure because of that. You know, they're an example of how to take shelter of this absolute truth, and how glorious it is. Okay? Otherwise, all the way out. This is why we need to find the association of those who are self-realized. See, the true self, is a manifestation of the spiritual potency. Sat, Chit, and Ananda, these three features, three in one. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit is another way to say it. Look at if you got Christian lingo. Same idea. See, the Son is that eternal form of a devotee in this world. See, that's the Son. Isn't it funny? The Son, and then there's the Father, and the Son. Okay, and the Son is the sun, the light of the world. Even Jesus said, while I'm in this world, I'm the light of the world. All devotees are the light of this world because they take shelter of what's of the light, the spiritual truth. Yeah. And so then so that's the Father. And so now the Son is a son because of the spirit, the spirit of devotion, which makes one understand that Father in all his aspects as a father and as the most intimate friend of each condition's each liberated soul. Yeah, 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 the friend, the beloved, all these different relationships with that supreme absolute truth can be known. I can't do this without you, Gohari does. Ah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, we need each other, actually. We do this together as a team. Yeah, you're taking shelter, I'm taking shelter, right? This is so we go into the kingdom of God together in that way. Yeah. One person said that you go back to the spiritual world single file. That's inconclusive. No, actually, if you notice, when Jesus was here, he had a family, spiritual family. When he disappeared, they developed or cultivated spiritual families where they all got the spirit that liberated them all. What do you think is happening here? You become part of this family as you become part of Lord Chaitanya's family. Yeah. It's just kind of the way it is, isn't it? Yeah. I was thinking this morning when I was chanting this thing made me laugh. This thing the Lord put in my brain, because it's my birthday, right? So birthday is June 14th. So the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya was June 14th, right? That he disappears. And isn't it funny? You know, I was born June 14th. It's like an appearance, right? So who's actually appearing here? Is this some kind of joke of Lord Chaitanya? May he disappears on June 14th and he appears on June or I had my birthday on June 14th. What the heck is going on here? Is this too coincidental? I know Kamala Kanta wouldn't like me saying that because he gets like, well, what about me? Yeah, but is it? I was thinking about that. Who else here in this world is really preaching the glories of Lord Chaitanya? I mean, as it really is. Who? Who's teaching about the mercy and distributing that mercy of Lord Chaitanya and awakening love of God quickly, like he did 550 years ago. Well, not probably to the extent that he did, but something, right? People are getting it. I think isn't that kind of coincidental, or is it a coincidence? Yeah, it's just uncanny here because I feel this is we're really practically introducing the glories of Lord Chaitanya for basically the first time in a long time. I mean, the book has introduced it, but we're living it. The Lord is living it through us. That's why, it's like I find it, how can a guy like me be a manifestation of these verses unless the Lord is actually living in you and through you? Does that make any sense to anybody? How can you be a Bhagavad Gita 10:10 unless because the Lord is the verses, and if he actually accepts you, you're able to live that out. How can you be a devotee Bhagavat and be really clear and logical and as it is in your discussions and your communication with others about the absolute truth if the Lord wasn't actually doing it through you? Yeah. Yeah, one chance in 365 to be born on the same day. Oh, okay. Yeah. Isn't that ironic that you were born on June 14th? And David Beeman, friend, requested me yesterday. Coincidence? I think not. Watch out for these, because I got a friend requesting him. It might not be him, actually, especially with the picture. So be careful. Some people, especially he was on our friends list, watch out for these people, they give you a friend request looking, imitating these friends that we have, and it's just they're not the real person. They just take the picture and do that, and it could be somebody else. So watch out for that. And they hack your account somehow. I didn't accept that because I don't think it was from him. Yeah. Yeah. So if you accepted that friend request, if I were you, I would just unfriend it because it's probably not him. Yeah, I got a message from that so-called Arjai also. It's not the Arjai there. He's dead. So they pick up these things. I have this other devotee who I think is probably dead also, and they revive the picture. Unless maybe his spirit is coming back. Yeah. Okay. But let's see. Parikshit said, Sukadev, previously you briefly told how Krishna was taken from Kamsa's prison to Vraj, but you did not explain everything in the description, his commentary. O Muni, you described it in only 2 verses. Now I pray that you will describe this incident in many verses. Bhagavan Sri Krishna descends to immerse the jivas. Bhagavan Sri Krishna descends to immerse the jivas, Bhuta, in prema bhavan, and to fill all living beings with bhav. So there you go. So Lord Chaitanya did that. And those now, if you're people here are becoming filled with this bhav. Bhav is this ras, is this spiritual taste. It's actually more than bhav, it's actually prema. See, so the Lord Chaitanya came to not to just give us a bhava experience of God in our heart, but actually the very more deepening, very deep um, level of bhava called prema, because it's more intense. It causes more symptoms of ecstasy in the body. You know, tears, laughing, crying, these kind of things. See, so he has to descend to do it because you have to be an example. You have to be an example of these truths. Otherwise, how can anybody learn about Bhav and Ras and Prema? Nobody will know. So there's a certain point, like this thing of holding it back and all that is, come on, man, wake the fuck up. People got to start waking up, you know. Otherwise, what are you doing, man? You don't even know who Lord Chaitanya is or the purpose of his descent. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita says, "Who those who know the reason and the purpose for the descent of the Lord in this world doesn't take birth again." See, but now well, you're thinking it's see, that's the thing. Krishna descended as Krishna and Radha, and the Lord of Dwarka, Dwarkadish, and all that. But it wasn't that clear. It wasn't clear enough for his purpose of descending in that incarnation because it, I mean, the most intimate understanding was locked in Vrindavan, just between these rasas, between the residents and himself. It was locked. So very few people could get it because it wasn't demonstrated publicly. And he said, I want to do a public demonstration. See, so he came and manifested this Ras, Nityananda and Advaita. He ordered them, manifest this Ras, and in this way, give it even to the lowest persons. Before, you had to be so qualified, like a Kora, or especially Uddhava, to go to Vrindavan. Oh, Uddha was already a rasic, ecstatic devotee, and to go to Vrindavan, he was allowed. Same thing with Akura. Akura was an ecstatic associate of the Lord and to go to Vrindavan. Usually it was not very easy to go to Vrindavan. It's very difficult. And the Lord said, I want to make it easy. I want to manifest this to everybody. Because if you go and you see the way the residents are worshiping Krishna, and especially if you're favorable to that, you start to have the same kind of feelings. This is a conclusion in Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Gopakumar, when he attained Vrindavan, spiritual Vrindavan, his his feelings became like the residents by association. That's the secret, man. That's why the Lord descends. That's why the devotees descend and revive this. That's why people are ecstatic here, because you're associating with ecstatic devotees and you become like them in due course, sometimes quickly, sometimes after a while. A lot of devotees, and some they just come here like Fanny and Janine. You start to develop this bhakti, this devotion, like Amy, just by association. That's how it works. If you don't have this manifested association of this relationship where you see a devotee in ecstasy worshiping the Lord, you don't know what it is. You have no role model. You have no understanding of it. It doesn't even enter your awareness. That's called revelation. The revelation of a particular form of God when they come here, or devotee. Nobody would have known the Holy Spirit if Jesus didn't come and manifest it here. He was a manifestation of that Holy Spirit in this world. That's what gave him great power and potency. We're also a manifestation of the Holy Spirit here. That's what gives great power and potency to awaken what? Your spiritual body, which is the resurrection of Krishna in your body, man. That relationship, that baby, that born again. Krishna is born in you for the first time, actually. Resurrecting that, Lord, opening your spiritual eyes, opening your hearing so you're attracted to hearing discussions about the absolute eternal truth. Okay? That kind of power is here. Isn't that the most important thing? What good is resurrecting a dead body to walk around in a dead state, living dead? What good is it to open deaf ears to hear mundane sound vibrations? How about ears that hear but don't hear? Remember, Jesus said that. Oh, you hear but you don't hear. You see but you don't see. Yeah. See, I'm a low person to have high association. See, that's the way it works. See, that's why you're a candidate, because you admit, we're all actually really low, but we have high association. See, that's not false ego. False ego is to think you're a high person. See, that's false ego. First, false ego state, false state of understanding who you are. No, we're actually very fallen. We're fallen into this material um, level, this shadow, this darkness. But by grace of Lord Chaitanya and this disciplic line, we have high association with the Lord. The Lord has chosen to live in us and through us. That's called surrender, and that we can relate and have a relationship with that supreme Lord of Vrindavan and Mayapur. Isn't it amazing? People don't know this. Yeah, you can also have it too. But you know what? You go to gurus and teachers out there who do not manifest this association, you're not going to get it. That's why Narayan Raj didn't manifest this association, that he was an example of this ecstatic, intimate relationship with Krishna. Radhanath doesn't, and Jayapataka doesn't. Therefore, what are you learning? You're learning what they give you: rules, regulations, ceremonies, external bhakti. Doesn't matter if they pepper it in with, like Rupa, Rupa, Radha, 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 but you got to see the manifestation of Radha's love in your heart. People have to see it if you're preaching Raganuga Bhakti, otherwise it's Raganuga bullshit, isn't it? It's not really. It's just you're just bluffing people. Teaching Raganuga Bhakti, but I'm sorry, we can't show you any Raganuga. We can't show you any Raga. Not allowed. See? What that is, it's people who don't have the power to transmit this, to manifest this, because they'll lose followers. Look how many people we don't get. See? If I wanted followers, you just give people they control you. See, they control you because they don't want to see this bhakti. Yeah, yeah. See, they don't want to see this bhakti. Why? Because you got to get purified. It puts you through instant purification. So you got to have the order. You have to have the empowerment. You have to have the real ecstatic devotion to pull this off. Otherwise, nobody can pull this off. That's our a unique presentation to the world. It's like a brand, and people, they have a brand in the world. This is what they do. This is their niche. This is what we do. This is our niche. Is help purify people that come here just by engaging in Hari Katha and chanting together. Spontaneous purification. The Lord, that's how we clean the dirt from the outside, and the Lord from the inside is working very fast, very powerful here. That's our niche. That's our thing. Does anybody want this product that we carry, which is this awakening this Krishna in your heart, so that you have this baby to feed, this transcendental baby, and then so feed him so he gets strong and grows up and starts preaching also the absolute truth and delivering others. I'm lucky to have such a cheerleader like Amy Rose, man. Gives me encouragement to preach boldly. Yeah. By his pleasing smiles, affectionate behavior, instructions, and his uncommon heroic pastimes, like lifting Govardhan Hill, Sri Krishna, appearing in his transcendental body, pleased all of human society. Yeah. Yeah, by his pleasing smiles, affectionate behavior, instructions, and his uncommon heroic pastimes, like Govardhan Hill, Sri Krishna appearing in this transcendental body, pleased all of human society. And so how he does that is people who are not really, like qualified, you could say, to understand his deep nature. It's all hidden. So people that are like not, we'll say less intelligent, they accept Krishna, right? They accept him, like the Gaudiya Vaishnavas accept him. ISKCON accepts Krishna. Gaudiya Smriti accepts Krishna. Radhakund Babaji's accepts Krishna. And generally the world, especially in India, because they know about Krishna, accepts Krishna, but on a certain level, right? But when you start going deeper into who Krishna is, then it comes the question, do you actually accept Krishna? See, so as we develop by association with the deeper devotees who understand more the depths of Krishna, you got to get purified. Otherwise, you're on the superficial level. That's the idea. The Vaidhi Bhaktas are less intelligent because real intelligence comes from deeper bhakti, doesn't it? There's some intelligence. Okay, they believe in Krishna, they believe he lifted the hill and da da da, and they speculate about so many things. So there's some level of acceptance, but it's less intelligent. But if you want deeper, real, more intelligence, your bhakti has to increase, not from just reverence from a big distance. It has to increase by purifying, emptying out the contaminations of Vaidhi, actually, the contaminations of Vaidhi bhakti. Prabhupada even said in his purports, chapter 3 of Adi Lila, that Vaidhi Bhakti is a contamination for spontaneous devotional service. It's a contaminant. It's a necessary one for those at that level. Otherwise, they cannot make the transition there right away, usually. It takes many lifetimes just to accept the deeper devotees' conclusions. Yeah, because people are encased in false egos, and prides and all these different things. And not everybody can go through the process of this deep purification. Okay? But those who do, you get purified and you get a deeper understanding of Krishna, and automatically you get more intelligence. That's why we teach about the door. The door is the spiritual master. See, when you become a disciple and a friend, you become qualified. The Lord says, okay, you want to become part of the intimate family? This is how you do it. You listen to my devotee teaching chapter 1 of Adi Lila on the spiritual master, and you master that. You see, you got to master that as a disciple. See? So some of you are mastering that. See, and then you're going in the door. You're becoming part of the family. You feel it, and you're even manifesting it. You're manifesting it openly. The other, getting the power to do that. Krishna's growing up in you, getting more strong, right? More mature. You're feeding that baby. I mean, we do feed the baby a lot here. I mean, I don't think anybody preaches like this day in, day out, then you guys are doing it, so we're all like immersed in this feeding the baby. The baby's getting strong and very quick and fast because of so much food, it's just grow, 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 grow. Some people are just less intelligent, like Johann. He's just less intelligent. He can't figure it out how to feed the baby. He feeds him poison. Because he's in that inconclusive understanding of the Vedas is poison. Guru aparad, which he is doing, and Vaishnava aparad, which he is doing, is feeding Krishna poison. And it poisons his mind. It makes him more of an aparadi, see, more against real bhakti, see, more puffed up and proud, see, more poison, more poison. And, that's just the path he's on until he figures it out, whether he figures out in this life or another life. See? But that's poison, So what is poison? To act against the Shastras. The deeper shastra, not, act against the rules. You know, that's not your purifying force here anymore. If you've been around long enough and you feel this bhakti, your purifying force is sadhu sangha and chanting the holy name and ecstatic love awakening in your heart. Now you're getting really purified, right? It's a deeper level of purification. No, and then you look at the rule. How can this rule purify? How can washing my hands after a meal really purify? It's so superficial. How can a ceremony without real love, spontaneous love awakening in my heart really purify me? It's just this empty ritual. See, but that's something for the less intelligent. If you want more intelligence, you have to come here and listen to these very deep truths and get purified and see the rhyme and the reason. See the reasonableness of these teachings, the logic of these teachings and this experience, these truths. The more bhakti you get, the more realization you get. But to get more bhakti, you got to get more purified. Everybody knows the drill here. You have to empty out garbage and stuff and have a garage sale for all these misconceptions and these misunderstandings, and then more bhakti comes in and you get stronger, see, and you carry the spirit life, see, in your daily life. Lalita replying to Govinda, kill the demon by showing the symptoms. Yeah, I put faith in you, good sir. We feed that baby. We give her strength and knowledge. Yeah. Well, actually, the strength and the knowledge is there. See, the strength comes from feeding the baby. It's just you get nourishment and then it gets strong. See, that's a result of feeding the baby. Feeding the baby by hearing, chanting, remembering in a society of devotees where you get purified and ecstatic devotion begins to awaken, or attachment to Krishna, attachment to hearing these narrations about Krishna. See, you develop an affinity for the messages of Vasudeva. When you hear devotees speak about Vasudeva, you develop like, wow, I can relate to this, an affinity. Like, wow, this is my food. This is I'm getting fed now, or Krishna's getting fed, and therefore you're getting fed. An affinity. Otherwise, if you don't like to hear from real devotees, that's contamination, man. From the worldly, from the darkness you've accepted as the light. These darkness of speculation you accept as light. See, you hear from aparadis who are in Guru Aparad or Vaishnava Aparad, and you get poisoned because they're servants of Putana. Yeah, yeah, Johan, servant of Putana, man. He goes literally. I mean, I say these things. Maybe somebody will get free of that association. He's blatantly against Guru, which I actually rather him to be directly. That's why he's out of the closet now. He's actually going against Guru and going against Guru Tattva, and I pointed out and everything. If he doesn't get free, at least maybe some of his followers will get free by you know understanding the facts of life. See? So he's preaching, 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 and we're preaching the truth here. The truth is Guru Tattva. All your followers there, Johan, can check this, that you're going against the truth of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 1, Adi Leela on the spiritual master. You've rejected your spiritual master that has done nothing but good for everybody here. How can you actually do that? You're so darkened. Here, people are getting strong, they're getting real bhakti, they're getting real life, and you go against this and you think that's the light? No, that is darkness. You're poisoned, and anybody who listens to you gets poisoned too. So that any of you followers out there, that is just a flat out truth. I prove it. He can't prove nothing. All he can do is speculate on the scriptures, just like all these ISKCON persons out there. They're all speculating on Guru Tattva, just like him. No different. They all put themselves up as guru and put down the real guru. The real guru is the realized soul. You put down, when you speculate on Prabhupada's books and the essence of the truth, then you don't know Prabhupada. You don't know Lord Chaitanya. Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah. So that's how it's stupidity. Putana is not very smart. She's very dumb, actually. Yeah. Who is this? I was listening. True words. Oh, okay, good. Okay, yeah, I got somebody on. I think that might be Twitch or Odyssey. Maybe I think it's or Rumble. I'm on a few platforms, Rumble and Twitch and Odyssey. What is that one? Let's see. Is that Twitch? Uh, we Twitch a lot here. The eyes. Oh, I see. Uh, by his pleasing smiles, affectionate behavior, instructions, and uncommon heroic pastimes like lifting Govardhan Hill, Sri Krishna appearing in his transcendental body. Let's see, the question is, do I believe in Christianity? Well, I believe in. Um, Jesus wasn't really a Christian. This came afterwards. Christianities, and I believe in truth, man. I believe in the truths that I can ascertain from the New Testament. They're truths. There's some bullshit in there, by editors that edit stuff and or mixtures of things and all of that. It's a 2,000-year-old books, and it's just I take the spirit of the Bible, but because there's a lot of spirit in there, so that's what I do. Yeah, like Jesus is Jesus is a devotee of God. That's the essence, more of an intimate one. So he knew something deep about the Lord. Okay. So Krishna gave pleasure to human society by revealing his beautiful, all attractive form. Even after taste, yeah, so Krishna gave pleasure to human society by revealing his beautiful, all attractive form. So it's attractive to even superficial people who like the picture, just like in Vaishnavas, a lot of Vaidis. Wow, what a beautiful picture. They come to go see the deity and a lot of flowers in there. Do they really know the heart of Krishna? You ever see beautiful people, a beautiful man or woman? And that you think, wow, that person's so beautiful and everything, but you don't know the condition of their heart. Are they really beautiful inside? Well, to be honest, those who have physical beauty generally get a big false ego about it, and they get contaminated by pride. They become very proud of their beauty because temporary beauty is an opulence of God in this world through his Maya. And people take shelter of that kind of beauty. See, and when you have that beauty in your own body, you tend to get very proud of it. See, and that's contaminating actually, and that's bewildering, and that causes your a false egoistic state to manifest. It's not who you really are. See, so Krishna uh, was pleasing in his beauty, even to superficial people. They like the flowers around Krishna and that kind of thing. They like his deity made really nicely and a real handsome Radha, beautiful Radha and a handsome Krishna. They understand that level. Now, if they penetrated to the heart of Krishna, they'd find even more beauty there. See, that form is an eternal form of the Lord. So it depends on what level you want to go to understand Krishna. For the neophytes, they only understand the external beauty because to go into the deeper level of God, who God is, you have to be purified and you have to be expunged and exorcised of speculations and poisons that you pick up from these gurus who are not really gurus. They're actually servants of Putanas if they're not residents of Vrindavan. Some level of poison or kalya is going to come out of their mouth from their harikatha because it's not realized, it's speculation. See? So most of the spiritual masters are not real spiritual masters in the Gaudiya Vaishnavism, according to this standard. We have a very high standard here. If you're not a resident of Vrindavan, you're not a representative of the Gaudiya Vaishnava line on this level of preaching. No compromise here. We're getting people in. We want everybody that comes here to be purified and to recognize what is a bona fide spiritual master, because that is your door to Bhakti. We're not here to, you know, yeah, mess around or kick the can down the road. And well, we won't touch that one. We won't. Well, everybody's worshiping, practically 99% of the people are worshiping false acharyas and false spiritual master. We're not going to kick that can down the road. And well, we won't touch that one because too many people believe in this bullshit. These bullshitters and liars and cheaters. Even if they believe, it doesn't matter. You can lie and be a cheater, even though you sincerely do it. If you're still taking shelter of a lie and a misconception, you're still going to naturally lie to people. When you're not a resident of Vrindavan and you take the position of spiritual master, and the people are worshiping you as a spiritual master and giving their lives to you and surrendering to you, you're a liar and a bullshitter and a misleader. See, they're not, from your leadership, they're missing the mark. See, we're here to get people into the kingdom, but therefore, anybody out there, you need to know who is a real spiritual master, man. You need to know who is living in the kingdom of God. You got to know how it shows up to live in the kingdom of God. The Lord showed you how it shows up. You're an ecstatic devotee. You chant the Hare Krishna mantra with great ecstatic devotion. You can't prove that. You're a fucking bullshitter, man. You're lying to the people. You're lying to yourself. You're no better than your followers. What do you think Jesus said when he said, the blind lead the blind? It's that. You're a blind guru and you have blind followers who don't know the real standard of Guru Tattva. Therefore, you don't get into the kingdom. You can't go through the regeneration. Jesus said, those who follow me into the regeneration are saved. You're not saved, man, until Krishna is born in you. In Vaishnava lingo, that's the born again idea. Or more conclusive, Krishna is born in you. Born of the word that you hear from the bona fide spiritual master. They cleanse you and clear you off of all that bullshit, all that poison that you've heard from Putana speaking Kalya type stuff and poison Harikatha to you, because they're not experienced devotees. They're not real residents. They're servants of Kalya. They're servants of Kalya and Putana. Therefore, they act like that. Oh, yes, very authoritative. You see, I'm Guru Dev, man. Do you see my high seat? I sit on that throne and I give a Bhagavatam class with flowery words that don't do anything. Yeah, I burden you with more rules every year. That's what they do in the ISKCONs. And you can ask people. I had one guy interviewing. He says, God, man, it gets worse every year. Less and less people from the West are attracted to Krishna. Yeah, because nothing but a bag of rules, a box of rules. Here, you come here, you want to worship Krishna. Here's the big rule book. Gets fatter every year because that's all we got to give you. That's all they can give you. They can't take your burdens off of you by the awakening of giving you Bhakti Lata Bij. See, that Bij gives you attraction to the transcendental form of God. So you can get attracted to worshiping God like that. See, you get some attraction. You get some traction. See, traction. You got, you ever try to, like go down a road that has a lot of sand in it? You got no traction. You're not going anywhere. That's what your gurus out there. You got no traction to move ahead spiritually because they're not bona fide. If they're bona fide, you come forward if you want. Otherwise, I'll preach like this. I'll say you're all bogus till you lay your hand on the thing there. Every one of you I've met is bogus. You come here and show that you can chant the Hare Krishna mantra with the ecstatic devotion that Lord Chaitanya brought to this world 550 years ago. Then I'll say you're the head of the line. You're in the head of the line, and those who take shelter of you come to the head of the line. They're in the front. And you Vaitis back there following these false gurus who have no ecstatic devotion are in the back of the bus. You're in the back of the line. Okay? You can't even move forward. You got no traction, no attraction to the real Krishna that many of us in this Sangha have. Is that too truthful for people? Too bad, man. It's time to know where the qualification of real guru is. What are the qualities of real guru? Not this external juggling of the scriptures type. You get nowhere with that. You become a Vaidhi Bhakti following rules and you die a Vaidhi Bhakti, or you just leave that and go to somewhere else, to Jesus or to Buddhism or some other path, because there's no, or Mayavadi, because there's no real juice in a bunch of box of rules and regulations, heaped on you from those who have no ecstatic devotion, no real knowledge, no deep bhakti, because they're no real Vedanta, because they got no bhakti, or very small bhakti, very small. So small you can't even see it. Yeah, people can't take this preaching, because if you do, it's so truthful, it blows people's mind. They know how it blows their concept. But if you want to be delivered, you better listen to this preaching, or you're going to die unregenerated, man. You're going to die a materialistic Vaishnava, trapped by materialistic gurus and teachers and people who have material motives, you materialistic religion, yeah, materialistic motivated religion, see, which is meant to be abandoned when you find this path, man. Do you see me, promoting materialistic Vaishnavism? Do you see me promoting gurus who are not residents of Vrindavan? Is that faulty, to tell the truth? I dare any of you gurus come here and rebuke this teaching that you're no head, you're not a worshipable person, man. How dare you be worshipped if you're not chosen by the disciplic line and the true Lord to represent the real truth that sets people free? How dare you? I say that to your face. You come here and rebuke this teaching. Yeah. We're all backed up, man. We're backed up by Guru who speaks it. We're backed up by sadhus who are real sadhus because they've been awakened. Krishna's been awakened in them, and the Shastras are blasting you, man. And that is our weapon, man, are the Shastras, the real Shastras. The weapon of Bhagavatam puts you right in your place, man. Shoots your ideas down. Come on, come, Charya Daves, Radhanas, any of you gurus in the Narayan Raj group, come on. Even Christians, anybody, you come here and let's what do you call what do they call that? There's a saying. Let's duke it out. Yeah, let's hear your idea of what is real Krishna consciousness. I present this idea and it works, man. People get ecstatic love here, and you can't do shit. None of you guys, and Narayan Raj, not even one devotee could I find had ecstatic devotion. They're all so-called high because of austerities and because they can live in a room and let all the mosquitoes bite their body, man. And no fan. Wow, they're a pure devotee because they're so austere. Bullshit, man. That ain't it. That's against the truth. Yeah, no ecstatic devotion, which is the real truth. Yeah, that's the real book. Bhagavad teaches that. You want to be self-realized quickly, you go through an ecstatic devotee who manifests ecstatic devotion and teaches all about these things because they're empowered by the true Lord Chaitanya. That's here. Show that. I'd like to see. Is it somewhere else? Yeah, the ammo, the spiritual ammo is the real Bhagavatam as it is, man. You can't you can't refute that if somebody is behind that truth, and that's where you all become too. You'll be fixed in that. See, your understanding will be the big Bhagavatam, and Maya cannot stand before that house, man. That is a solid pillar. When you understand the real Bhagavatam and you stand under those concepts, Maya cannot shake it. Matter of fact, she's afraid to even confront the devotees. That's why nobody comes here. To me, they are representing Maya, these principalities. What are these? It's Putana, Kaya. What are they? We dance on the heads of Kaya by the grace of Krishna. This is the dance, man. You donkeys, you guys are serving the donkey demons. You're less intelligent because of that. We we get the whip and whip that donkey with the truth, man, and get it moving a little bit. It wants to stay stupid, right? We get the prod, the whip, and just smack that ass, literally that ass donkey. Smack it, get it moving a little bit. Stubborn donkeys, man. Need a you need one of these. See, that's called chivalry. If you don't have chivalry, you know what Lord Shiva says in the Nectar of Devotion? If you're not chivalrous, if the chivalry of God is not working through you, you can't be guru. Forget it, man. Maya will whoop your ass. She's a bitch, man. She lies, she cheats, she steals. You know, that's what she does. She has the nature of Krishna. He lies, he cheats, he steals in Vrindavan, right? See, the shadow is cast in the form of Maya. So you got to confront that. We're throwing down. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, if you don't have chivalry, you can't forget about being a guru. You'll be one of these wolves in sheep's clothing as they get out of their limousine. I've seen it. These gurus get out of the limousine, and they go and they look as mundane as can be, and they got these followers who believe they're bullshit, man. Blind followers and blind leaders. What Can you imagine? Mhm. All right, let's go to a verse here. Glorification of this is translation. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the Parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. The Parampara system, spiritual master to disciple. Yeah, isn't that what don't I preach this? Am I preaching something else? See? Parampara system. That's why I say, unless you become a real disciple and friend of Guru, you're not qualified to understand these things that we're talking about here. Told this one guy here, that came and he went. He was thinking about it. Yeah, you're not qualified. I see it all the time. Yeah, people will not understand the confidential nature. It's the parampara system. That's why you see Amy is understanding this. She feels herself a disciple, see, and a friend, a guru. So it works. She becomes, even though she's just a waitress or was a waitress, you know, she can understand these things because she feels herself a disciple and a friend, a guru. Eh? Fanny also, you notice Fanny understands. She wasn't, what is Fanny? She's just got a family. She has a family and she wasn't doing anything of the Vaidhi Bhakti path or anything. but because she feels herself like a disciple and friend and she's been saved. Not not blindly, but she has experiences of Krishna and her whole life changing. She just wrote me and said, "Mom, this is this is the best time of my life. This is amazing. All these things happening for me." Yeah. See, parampara, isn't it all by the I love it. That's why, people say you repeat yourself. I just love conclusive truth. I can just relish it. It's like, it's like a tasty morsel. Say like popcorn. Popcorn with nice yeast on it, brewer's yeast, and a little bit of salt, Himalayan salt on that. Man, I can eat that popcorn again and again and again and again. Can't do you understand? That's how it is. These are tasty morsels. It's called truth. You just relish these things. They're very important to taste again and again and again, repetitively. It doesn't matter. This is very relishable. You learn by relishing this food, man. Hmm. Parampara system, glorification of the personality of Godhead is performed in the parampara system. This is why many devotees in ISKCON and these groups they don't like really, they put the books on the shelf. They don't have time to study, to work for Guru, right? Make lots of money for them, build lots of big external temples and all that. When I was in ISKCON, I had no time to really read, the books. I was working 12 hours a day, serving my Guru Dave, building a restaurant, you know. We were building a restaurant, so working all the time. Oh, please just sacrifice so I build a restaurant. And then Christian wanted to show the bullshit there. And the restaurant people that were building it, they took all the money and just disappeared. And they were devotees. You know how many leaders do that shit, that bullshit, man? And then they come back years later like Rameshwar and they never apologize. They just come back. Oh, yeah, we stole the money from the Hare Krishnas. Yeah, no problem. And then we're back now. Never say, I'm so really sorry for all that, you know. Yeah. That's called religion, materially motivated religion. We abandon that. This is, you want to live by the book here, come here. You'll be able to live by the book. You'll abandon all varieties of materially motivated religion and these religious leaders, so-called religious leaders, who have materially motivated, professional Bhagavatam teachers. You'll abandon all that for the truth. See, uncompromising. You'll see as you keep feeding Krishna, he's going to get strong inside you, man, and he's going to want to duke it out with the Maya. He wants to test his potency in this world. Okay, parampara system is conveyed from spiritual master disciple. So you got to get a bonus. See, you want this to work. You want this formula to work. Otherwise, people have left this because they don't have a real spiritual master. Therefore, they're not a real disciple. If you're a real disciple, like a real candidate for the truth, the Lord will lead you to a real spiritual master eventually. In some lifetime, you'll get one, but not in every lifetime do you get this. This goes right over the head of most persons. But in some lifetime, you get somebody like this, hopefully. See? And now because the Lord is saying, okay, I'm going to let you understand what's going on here. Okay? And now you're in the parampara system, and then you can begin to develop an affinity for these messages of Vasudeva. The message, what's the message here? Get the fuck in the parampara system, man. Can you see the message here? What is the parampara system? You got to have a real guru who tells you who's really there. in the parampara system. Yeah, yeah. He's a mature, ecstatic devotee who has a real, genuine relationship with that Lord of Vrindavan and that Lord Chaitanya, see, and teaches you those teachings to get you into the kingdom of God quickly. Otherwise, you're listening to all these bullshitters, all these Putana servers, all these false representatives of Vrindavan. Isn't that easy? Isn't it nice? Isn't that pretty simple to know that if you don't know what the demon that's keeping you out of Vrindavan is, how the hell are you going to surpass it? How can you surpass? You don't know what are the qualities of a demon that is a servant of Putana. How are you going to get past her? See? Yeah, the qualities of Putana was she was not a real representative of Vrindavan. See, so representing Vrindavan, the real resident Vrindavan, representative Vrindavan. And what is a false spiritual master? What is a false guru? They're not a real representative of the Vrindavan consciousness, Vrindavan awareness. They have no real affinity for that transcendental Lord, but they're bullshitting you like Putana's bullshitting everybody, pretending to be. Yeah, a pretender. What do they call it? Called pretenders. They're pretending to be a resident Vrindavan, but they don't have the qualities of a resident, which is this deep, mature, ecstatic devotion. When they chant the Hare Krishna mantra, this makes it really simple. They have the spontaneous, ecstatic love of God awakens in them and is also communicated to their real disciples and friends and well wishers. Pretty simple, isn't it? See? You listen to this one class with some openness and reflection. It's better than 40 years of following these fucked up Putinas, these Kalya speakers poisoning the real path, the real Vedic conclusion. One class can clear you and enlighten you if you listen attentively with an open mind. So those who are chosen by the Lord and led here, this is for you, for everybody. See, such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. What does that mean? Exactly what I said. Stop glorifying. If you're not interested in glorifying false acharyas, false prophets, false pretending gurus, and spiritual masters and worshiping them, that's part of the false temporary cosmic manifestation because they ain't liberated and you're not getting liberated that way either. They're in the obstacle and you're in the obstacle. They don't want to come out of the obstacle because they're too busy enjoying material prosperity from their disciples, and they're stealing their gurus' temples and all that stuff and being sahajas and all that other bullshit. See? So when you get tired of that false glorification of those who represent the Putana part of the principalities, these this hypocrisies and these lies. It's all false, man. See? Then you come in the parampara system and you hear these truths. What is the fault of this preaching? What? Just pointing. The fault is for them is pointing out the truth. They don't want to see it. No, don't destroy my illusion. You ever see an ostrich? Yeah. The ostrich, when there's danger, what they do? Do they run away from danger? No, they're so less intelligent. They put their head in a hole and their big body is exposed to the danger and they think they're safe. Okay? That's you. You put your head in the hole of this darkness of this cosmic manifestation and all its representatives, the putanas, the kalyas, the donkey demons, stupid, ideas and misconceptions and audacities to be a spiritual master without real bhakti, without being delivered yourself, that is donkey stupidity, intelligence, less intelligence. You put your faith there. You're like an ostrich. The danger of Maya is going to cut you down anyway, because that's what she does. And you're going to take more births and more lives and more deaths and more births simply because, you're not ready to look at the truth to be set free. The truth is parampara system, the real qualities of guru and real qualities of disciple. That's what you see here. You actually have this examples of a real guru and real disciples, and the fruit of that, the fruit of ecstatic love, awakening in devotees here. Now that's pretty good. And you wonder, why do I preach this? Because it's important. People's eternal lives depend on this preaching. Otherwise, they miss the opportunity. When are you going to get another chance to meet somebody born on June 14th? The appearance time, isn't it? Isn't this making Lord Chaitanya appear in a lot of hearts, people? Hey, we can comment on these things. We can say, hey, man, the Lord is really working here. People are getting devotion that Lord Chaitanya gave. Yeah, and it's manifestation here and nowhere else. So this is the place to come. This is the place to be. Don't you want to be in the best place in the universe? The best place on the universe is where a devotee of Lord Chaitanya is, because that place you can become eternally liberated from illusion and get the highest grace of God, and nowhere else but a place like that. This is fun, isn't it? This is amazing. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Are you tired of the false glorification of false acharyas and false gurus? Or oh, Trump, you're so great. Oh, Biden, you're so great. All this false glorifications. Oh, Michael Jackson, hurrah, hurrah. See? Are you ready to glorify what is transcendental now? Isn't that what we do? What do you think these classes are? It's just a manifestation of the glorifying, uncompromisingly glorifying what is of the absolute nature. What is the real absolute guru, man? What is the absolute truth about rasa? What is rasa? What does it look like? How does it manifest? How does it show up in this world? What teachings come from that rasa? We show you that rasa, we give you the teachings that come from that rasa and that are in the vision of the revealed scriptures here. You can check all this. There is no need to be some there is need to be some transcendental action that is only where he is showing up in his grace place. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. This is so funny. Okay, what else? Let's see what else we can milk. I like this. I like this book. I like these commentaries and descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. See, repeated birth and death is ended by the birth of Krishna in you. Now you have transcendental attachment. Naturally, now you like the food. The food now comes from you, like the mother's milk comes from the mother to feed the baby. Now, see, now that Krishna has been born in you, or you got twins, Radha and Krishna, the love of God is born in you. Now you have food to feed that baby, right? See, that food is the love of these truths. You love these truths and you love to feed it to that baby. You love to feed it like you eat it here, taste it, and you feed it to Krishna in your own heart. You chew the food for the baby. He wants to eat remnants from his devotees. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self? See, that's what you do, man. When you don't hear from real devotees who have real bhakti, real devotion, it's like you're butchering your own soul, man. Yeah. So that's why it's attractive here. As we're getting purified, we like to hear these messages. We like to talk about the real Krishna. Isn't it nice to talk about the real Guru now? When you're purified, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to glorify. You know how many people glorify these persons who are not residents of Vrindavan? That's You're still not hearing the Bhagavatam. You still don't understand this verse of the Bhagavatam, 10th canto. You still don't get. You're not into it yet. You haven't even heard the Bhagavatam from those who are part of that false temporary manifestation because they speculate, because they're not liberated souls, because they can't chant the Hare Krishna mantra with tears pouring out of their eyes and laughing like madmen and women. Pretty easy to know standard, huh? How come nobody's talking about this? How come nobody knows this? Because they don't. Very few people chant the holy name with great ecstatic devotion. Otherwise, it'd be a no-brainer. Of course, you don't worship false acharyas or false spiritual men. Of course, you don't surrender to people who are no better than yourself. They have no ecstatic devotion. They can't chant with tears and laughter and shaking and trembling because of true love for God. Of course, you don't do that. Yeah. Yeah, people think we're crazy. I think that's crazy to worship somebody who's not a liberated soul. Can't prove they're a liberated soul. I don't care how many people, oh my God, my Gurudev is so glorious. What's the glory? I don't know. He's austere. Everything that's against those verses that I quote all the time. Everything that's the opposite of the verses I quote that are actually in Chaitanya Lila and Srimad Bhagavatam, they go against, all in the name of the truth. In other words, they hold the lie as the truth. They hold the speculation as truth. See? And those who believe it are bewildered. Those who believe in are weak and controlled by those principalities of the liars, the putanas, and the Kalya speakers poison in you. You're controlled by all that until you come here and get the real Krishna jumping into that stream, that river poison, that Harikata that's been poisoned, man. And we clean it off. We clean it up. Mop up the mess. Ah. Okay, so that's good. We finished that verse. So stop being a butcher of your own self, man. Hear the glorification from real devotees who have real devotion. So you may fault everything I say here in this whole class. I said a few this cuss word here, cuss word there. See? Huh. But what is faultless is the truth. It's all Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. All checked and balanced. You know? You ever see these? You ever had a car that you put on a tire, but it's not put on right? It's not balanced. It has to be balanced. You put on a tire and you go down the road and it goes boo, 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 boo. That's Krishna conscious now. It's going down the road, boom, boo, 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 boo. There's no balance. See? There's no check. You can't check it for a truth. See, so it's going down the road, boo, 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 boo. Except here, we smoothly go like a Maserati, man. We're always tuning the engine to get it, really smooth and humming and turbocharge it. See, every day like this. That's why we come here, man. We want to make this car run really nice, fast into Vrindavan. Okay, so we finished the verse. Let's get a few people up here, or quite a few people up here now. Come on, let's go, and let's see. Somebody put the link up. Tom, you should also be in charge of keeping the link so you can put it up for people. Got Lalita. Okay. Hey, Lalita, welcome. Matter of fact, here I'll get the link first because what's happening here. Okay. Hare Krishna. Anybody put the link up yet? Nope. I got it here somewhere. Yes. Oh, I see. I gotta have it's on my. Oh, it's on 18. There we go. Yeah, we got so many people doing these classes now. It's great. Where's that link? Here it is. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. There we go. Okay, here's the link. All right, Lalita.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
What's the news?
What's the news? um, well, yeah, I was thinking actually, it's an art. Devotional service is actually a real art that you cannot start doing that without somebody shows it before you, without be taught how to do it, without having the explanations of all those little details, without somebody who's showing you the miracle, and without growing in this art, getting better and better in that communion. I don't say that you
Yeah.
become a better person, but I'm telling you, you become a more a dearer friend, a
Mm.
dearer friend. You know, um, I love that Bhaktivedanta principle, and it's not out of pride that I say that I talk about it, but because actually Prabhupada, it was his desire that we all become Bhaktivedantas, which is a big thing maybe to have this desire for all of us, but we have the chance here, um, to to discover that concept and to understand that deep concept of receiving more knowledge out of your bhakti after receiving deep purification, deep purification, deep purification. So it's a perfect process of the Lord. And it's very natural, it's very logic that you can, but it's divine. It's not from this world, it's not the logic from this world. It's only when you have a real spiritual master and you follow in his footsteps and you see how he became a Bhaktivedanta, and you be sucked in that spiritual environment, and then it's happening for you as well. My God, this is wonderful, this is miraculous. It's an art in which you don't have to study, you don't have to do things yourself. You're actually passive, kind of passive, a hearer, but you're present. You're present. That's all you need to do, actually. Your mic is muted, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, um, you change by association. When the Gopa Kamara got the association of devotees of Vrindavan, his feelings became like theirs. You know, this you need that manifestation here. Otherwise, that energy, that potency, that knowledge is not here. And that's why people take shelter. The person's still caught up in the obstacles to Vrindavan. See, only the deep devotees who go deep into the real Krishna, his more qualities and everything by bhakti, understand these obstacles, and they're the guide to get you through. Otherwise, those obstacles are insurmountable because they're the divine energy of Krishna. Yeah, it's amazing like that. Yeah, yeah. Amy, what do you got for us? Thank you there, Lily. That is a great realization.
I'm not sure if I have too much to say right now, Guru Hari. Like,
Even a
I
little.
can, yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I'm not sure if how much I have to say right now. I don't know
Okay.
why I'm even online right now, but I just wanted to come on and just be here with
Yeah.
you and
Yeah.
celebrate like your birthday and everything.
Oh,
And
thank you. Thank you.
yeah, like I just love you so much. And yeah, I don't know, like maybe you say something and then I
Oh,
can
yeah,
say
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
help me a little bit.
What points in this class did you like?
Oh, I loved every point that you've made in this class. Like, I love every point that you make every day of the week. Like, every time you're making a point, I'm like, yeah, yeah. Like, oh my God, Guru Hari Das. Like, yes. I mean, what can I say? I don't even know what to say right now. Honestly, like, I'm gonna embarrass myself. Like, this what's
Yeah, go
happening right
for it.
now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fun, right?
yeah.
Um, no, I love everything that you're talking about. Like, I love this entire vibration. Like everything that we do here is so high. It's such a high energy that in a way it can become like so high that for me that it can like what happens to me is it breaks the circuit. Like I become so high that the circuit kind of like like you have too much power
Overloads,
an
like
overload,
over.
exactly. Like, if you're in a house, like, and, you're in the house and, all the electricity is running in the house,
Yeah.
and then you have 2 air conditioners running in, like, 3 air conditioners running in 1 room, like, couple of rooms. You got, like, all the electricity running, and then the circuit just kind of blows, like, you have a power outage. Like, so sometimes that sort of happens to me.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for anybody who may be listening right now, like I want to say that sometimes like my circuit sort of like blows in that way. Like there was a
yeah.
lot of power happening Okay, so let me just go ahead and say, like, I had a little bit of an incident with like Shama Sundari,
Yeah.
and now that we're publicly talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
this,
Exactly.
yeah,
I love it. Yeah. It's
let's
great.
do it, right? Like, here we are. All
Yeah.
right, I want to apologize for that instance. Like I may have like the circuit may have like gone too high with that one. Like I
Yeah.
don't know where I was going with that. Like I was circuit was going. Like I mean the power was happening. I was saying things. I'm not sure where I was going with things. Like and I may or may not have clearly I have offended like I said things that weren't like kosher or whatever. Like I
Yeah.
was like it wasn't like yeah it's so great. So I just want to apologize for that, because I didn't mean it. Like I wasn't trying to be mean or anything. Like I I I was thinking certain things in my head and maybe it didn't come out in the right way.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to like say things and they don't come out in the right way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know maybe you have that tendency to do this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Shama
How'd you
Sundari.
feel after that though? After,
Terrible.
expressing
I
this?
felt
No,
terrible.
no, no, no.
Oh,
After you shared those things that day, how
oh,
did you?
well, I felt fine, but then when it all came back to me, like when like
Yeah.
when I had the interaction, I felt really terrible about it. To be quite
Yeah.
honest, like I felt like I had offended her, like, and I didn't want to do that. That was
Yeah.
not my intention.
Yeah.
I felt like I did something wrong, like
Yeah.
I spoke on the top of my brain and like
Yeah.
and whatever I said seemed to have not come out. I just brought this all back to myself,
Yeah.
like right now.
Yeah.
But we were talking about something different. If you could just help me for a second.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, you're talking basically you were sharing that like
I
it
don't
was
know what
about this
I'm
work thing, that you felt like because you're in a situation where,
because I don't work. 'Cause I'm not working. I don't
yeah,
work.
yeah. And that basically it's okay not to work and not having to
Well,
be,
like a lot of people don't feel like it's okay that I don't work. Like that's
yeah.
not okay. Like for
Yeah.
most people
So
in
you're
my life.
expressing yourself, kind of getting
I
off your
was
chest.
expressing, yeah, I think I was getting it off my chest. Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
you're helping me right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
To say that I was getting it off my chest that like at this stage in my life, like after COVID, like I mean, I was working like, and even to my job that I was having before COVID was like it took me a little bit to get to that point, even like just to
Yeah.
get to that like working mode. Now I was
Yeah.
doing it. I was like I was fucking working. I was like I was doing it. I was
Yeah.
like my mother. My mother is like the kind of person who only appreciates people who are productive and working.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
this is the only time that she like if you're not doing that, then she's not
Yeah.
appreciating that. Like so she's not happy if you're not doing that. So I was doing it. I was doing so well. I was like working out. Oh, I was all working out. And then COVID happened. And before COVID, actually, when I was working in the restaurant, like I used to, oh, I'm sorry. I have to plug my computer in. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't want to like, sorry about that. Okay. Um, so before that, like, well, where was I going with this?
Before COVID, you were working, right?
Yeah, I was working and stuff, and it took me a bit to get to that zone, like to because I had been like I was working, but then like kind of not working, and then like then I had gotten myself back into work mode, like,
Right.
and I
Right.
was
Yeah.
doing it. I was doing so good, like 2017. So starting in 2017,
Yeah.
so COVID didn't happen until 2020. So I'm like working. I'm doing it like right, like everything's going good. I'm being productive. I'm doing exactly what everybody wants me to do, which is producing like money and being like a workhorse. Like this is
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
everybody expects like a person to do in my
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
So I was doing that really well. And then all of a sudden like COVID happens and I before that I was always like I was a little bit of a germaphobe, like they called like I was always washing my hands like at the restaurant, like because people like cough and spit on napkins. and they put on their fucking plate, right? And I gotta grab that fucking plate, right? I gotta take that plate and grab it and we gotta wash their dish. I'm like, ooh, like I'm a little bit like grossed out, like so I was always I'm like, ooh, like washing my hands. And a lot of people in the restaurant would make fun of me, like kind of mock me, like, Amy, your hands are getting a little bit like too like dry, like you're washing your hands too much. Like, yeah, I'm fucking washing my hands because everybody's like, there's kids coughing, everybody's fucking so germy. Like
Yeah.
I was being a germaphobe in a way. Like I was like,
Yeah.
ugh. And then, so funny that all of a sudden, March of 2020 comes along, and now all of a sudden, the entire world, not just the country, but the entire world, decides that there is a national virus happening. Like, so, like, I
World
wasn't wrong.
virus.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so I was washing my hands all this time, but now the world is literally telling me that there is a virus happening. I'm like, good thing I was washing my fucking hands, right? Like everybody's making fun of me already for this. Yeah. And then COVID happens and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, guess what? You can't work anymore. I'm like, okay, so and I remember went to my employer and said, so I can't work anymore. Like, what am I supposed to, what are we going to do for money? Like, I can't, like, okay, what happens now? Like, and I've been washing my hands, like now I'm thinking, so, okay, fine. He says, okay, do unemployment, whatever, like that's fine. So now we're home, like we're quarantined, like
Yeah.
2020 happens and we're
Yeah.
in COVID. And I'm like, I was already germophobic worried about like a disease that's going to kill all of us. So
Mhm.
I was there in the midst of 2020, like from March of 2020 to like I would say to 2021, like I'm thinking we're all gonna die. This is it. Good. It's the apocalypse. It's happening. This is all happening. Like we all die to the dog, and I'm probably gonna give my son, my mother, like these germs that I've probably like gotten
Picked
from
up in a
quarantine
restaurant.
and from people, like, and all these germs that I've been pulling off dishes and people coughing on me and like all this like waste and shit. Like, yeah. So I was like, I quarantined myself for like 2 months. Like, I was like, okay, I don't want to. I like literally thought that we were all gonna die like for a minute, and then so this was something that I had to experience, and I think the whole world may have other people. I don't think I'm alone in this. Like I think there's other people who felt this way, but I mean, before that, I didn't know that was going to happen. I thought we were just all just. I didn't. I have never gotten a cold. By the way, in my life, I've never had a cold. Like I have never
Wow.
gotten sick in my life. Yeah,
Excellent.
I've I've never even gotten sick. Like so odd that I'm so worried about germs when I've never even had like a cold before. Like I've never even gotten sick. So I am so worried about this. And then okay, so then now we're after that period of time happens, like I quarantine myself. Finally, we're like, okay, it's not that bad, but we had to go to stores. We had to like I remember like we had this quarantine situation in the stores where you couldn't we were really socially distancing. Like
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
social distancing? Like so
Yeah.
you weren't allowed to like so if you're in a store, like nobody was walking next to a person. Like if somebody's
Yeah.
in the store, you're like, like looking at them like, like keep your fucking germs away from me. Like
Yeah.
I don't need your germs by me. Like, like everybody has become a sickness, at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, you know. So, and this was a very like a trying time for my brain, to go through this.
Yeah.
And so after, I mean, this took a while to go through because it was like about a year and a half that we did this
Yeah.
behavior. My
Yeah.
son couldn't even go to school. I mean, the poor kid couldn't even go to school or socialize. He was in a middle school. We're talking seventh and eighth grade. Like
Yeah.
he never went to seventh and eighth grade. Like so, he
Mm.
never got to go to middle school because during those years we were quarantined. Like we weren't allowed to so we had to socially distance, and
Yeah.
the whole world, not just like my area, the entire world fucking had this idea that we had to like, that there was germs, like everybody
Mhm.
was gonna get us sick. So we're like, oh, we're all gonna die sick as a dog. We're gonna fucking like this is an awful, terrifying situation, right? We're gonna die
Mhm.
sick as a dog. Oh God, like can you imagine like my
Mhm.
brain thinking this way? So
Mhm.
that ended, right? And then all of a sudden everybody's fine. I never got COVID, like never once.
Mhm.
I mean, other people got COVID. I didn't. I've never gotten even a cold. I've never had the flu. I've never gotten sick in my life.
Mhm.
Like I'm
Mhm.
just like a person who doesn't get sick. But
Mhm.
I worried about it. So then it's over, right? Now and all of a sudden, oh, this is over. The world's like the entire world, not just like a small area, the entire world was doing this. The entire world that we live in was like, "Oh, you're all going to die sick as a dog." And then out of nowhere, we're like, "Oh, like it's fine. Like everybody's fine. Like we can, hang out with each other. Like there's no more germs like or COVID's gone." Go back to work. Now get the fuck back to work, girl. Get the fuck back to work. I'm like, okay, what? Wow, like this is a lot of information to process. For I'm autistic, so like there's a lot of information for me to like. I have
Yeah.
sensory issues, so
Yeah.
so they're like, oh, now we go back to work. This is what we do. We go back to work now, and everything's fine. Like everybody forgets about what just happened. I don't know
Yeah.
how people do this. Like, I'm not those people. I'm like an alien of this country. Like, I'm an alien of this world. Like, whatever everybody else is feeling, I'm not feeling that way. Like, I'm an alien. I've always been the most fragile fucking person in this world. Like, I'm a shell shocked, like, turtle shocked fucking person. Like, okay. So now everybody's just like, fine. They're fine. Like, oh, what? Like, they didn't think twice about it. Like, oh, now
Yeah.
we go back to work. Do 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 do. They're whistling their way back to work. Like it's fine. We're back to like normal society. I wasn't able to. I didn't just jump. Hello, you frightened the shit out of me. You scared the shit out of me. Like, and now I'm
Yeah.
expected to go back to work again. Like so. That's taking time. So I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't jump back into that situation as quickly as other people did. Like so I think the reason that yeah, I want to like I guess express this idea about working and like how
Yeah.
in my life like before COVID happened, it was always expected that I had to work. Like so if I
Yeah.
didn't work, that was not acceptable. Like
Right.
everybody works. Like
Right.
if you're living in this house, you work. You have to
Right.
earn money. You have to
Yeah.
go to work. You have to earn money. And if you
Mhm.
don't, I'm sorry, you're not like you need to go like right because you're not earning income like so
Yeah.
you're not providing you're not productive like
Mhm.
you're a useless like fucking person in this situation
Yeah.
so that's the situation I was used to in COVID all of a sudden like this is like acceptable that we don't work because there's a disease happening and we can't work, like, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, boom, back to work, go back. This is in psychology called cognitive dissonance. So
Yeah.
that's called cognitive dissonance. You have actually introduced two opposing ideas to each other.
Yeah.
Opposing ideas meaning we're okay and we're not okay. Like, so how is my brain supposed to like accept that? At that point.
Mhm. Mhm.
It wasn't my brain. Some people are like do 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 do. They whistle their fucking way to work. They don't even fucking realize these things. They don't even care. They oh I fucking just do things. I'm a proactive person who just produces. I am not that person. I'm a shell shocked turtle over here. That's like how am I supposed to do this now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so here we are, I have a child, I have a son, like so it's not like I'm just on my own here. I did produce out of my loins like a child. He's
Mhm.
going to be 18 years old this year, like soon. So that was a hard one for me. Like I don't think all people were meant to be mothers, like I wasn't. But I did, because when you're like 23 years old, like your little loins are like, oh, I'm gonna have a kid, I'm gonna have a child. Like this is what your little body tells you that's supposed to happen. And I
Right.
I I did do this, this natural thing that women do or people do. They produce a child. But
Right.
after that happened, and I had the most horrible labor and delivery possible. I was bleeding, hemorrhaging. That I was
Ooh.
absolutely about to die during. Like I
Wow.
almost died during giving labor because
Yeah.
I was hemorrhaging like to death. So
Mm.
like, but he wasn't. He was alive. He didn't cry, but I was like, is he alive? Is he breathing? Okay, good. I can just die right now. Like, oh, good. The little baby's alive, right? Let me just die right now. I'm fine. I'm fine just to die right now.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. Here I am, and
Yeah, right.
he was like the one that delivered me was like, all right, no, we're gonna keep you alive, like, honey girl, like whatever, like, no, we're gonna keep you alive. Um, which was not easy because I was hemorrhaging to death, like so that was not a fun situation. But my I think my point is that yeah, I had a hard time bouncing back from like COVID, like and the whole
Yeah.
thing that happened because I
Yeah.
was working, I was doing this. I worked my entire life, like from the time I was 14 years old. I
Mhm.
waitressed. 14 years old. I'm a
Yeah.
child, like I didn't
Mhm.
even have parents. Like there was no, I didn't have like a normal. Oh, mom and dad. Like this wasn't. I wasn't living in a normal situation.
Mm.
Everything was totally fucked. Like fuck 6 weeks from Sunday. But I had to work. I had to make money, like I had to do what I had to do. I went to
Yeah.
school, I worked, school and work, school and work. That's what I did, like, and
Mhm.
that's what I lived with for a lot of years with school and work, school and work. And then this situation kind of like got I had my child. That was hard because now I have a baby, and having a baby is a hard situation to deal with, like
Mhm.
and then I still worked, and then I
Mhm.
was still working, 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 and then I was working, 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 like because I had a child, I was a single mother, so I didn't
Mhm.
have like, and nobody was helping me at that point, like
Mhm.
I went through a lot of years of like me having to work, like,
Mhm.
and I had to make sure that somebody took care of my child while I was working, and
Mhm.
this was a very difficult situation to deal with because there wasn't always somebody to watch the kid, like
Mhm.
there was like, a lot of the time where I was like, I had to bring him to work with me, and that wasn't okay with my employer. Like,
Mm.
okay, we don't like that you're bringing your child to work with you. Like,
Mhm.
I'm a waitress, like
Mm.
we don't it's not okay that you're bringing your kid with you to work. I'm like, I don't know what to do with him. Like I can't, nobody's watching him. I don't know what to fucking do with him. Like he has to come with me at this point because I gotta get so I had my employer at the time, like my boss, who set up this lovely man, like did this for me, set up that I could get him onto the bus by the place I was working at. Like
Mm.
so he allowed me to work a lot of weird situations I had to go through, like where
Mhm.
now I'm living in an apartment that this man allows me to like he's renting. I'm paying
Mm.
him to live in this apartment with
Mhm.
my 6-year-old son. He's only 6 years old. He's in first grade, and I have to get him onto the bus. And I work at this restaurant, so he like, oh, we got the bus system to come, like ask the bus system to come to this like place of employment. So now they
Mhm.
pick him up from this
Mhm.
area, so
Mhm.
I have to like leave, like I have a million tables like at this
Mhm.
point of time. Like I'm waitressing. I have so many people I'm waiting on. So I have to
Mhm.
leave. Like, I have my son who's eating like breakfast, like
Mhm.
oh my god, this is like horrible to talk about because it's really triggering moments like for me
Yeah.
because it's like really hard for me to go through these this time.
Mm.
So he's eating breakfast, okay, and things would go. I had to run him onto the bus and then come back to waitress. Like while my tables, I have to wait on my tables, So I have to
Mhm.
run my child, like he's there with me. I had to bring him 6 o'clock in the morning too, like to
Mm.
work, and he's tired, and bring him onto the bus at like 7:30 in the morning, whatever it was, 7:45.
Mhm.
Get him onto the bus and come back to waitress. This one
Mhm.
day, he eats his breakfast. He spilled an entire glass of lemonade onto him. Like I don't know, little. He's a little kid. Like he
Mm.
spills all this lemonade onto him. I'm like, I can't bring him back home to change his clothes. Like I have to. I'm waitressing. I'm working and have to get him onto the bus. The only thing I could do was get him onto the bus at that point. Like I didn't know what to do. Like I
Mhm.
tried to clean him off the best I could, but I had to.
Mhm.
I didn't know what to do. There was a lot of, like, weird times like this, like,
Mhm.
the triggering moments. Anyway, I think my point is that I had to I had to do this for a long time,
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
this little kid. At this point in my life, I'm going to be 42 like this summer. Like
Mhm.
so I'm getting up there, in years. And I d- and after COVID, I don't work right now, like
Right.
so
Good.
I'm not producing, like
Mhm.
that before COVID, like it was not allowed for me to not produce any money. Like I had
Mhm.
to work. Like if I wasn't working, I was pretty much like a piece of shit that like, they weren't gonna like allow that to happen. You had to work. Everybody works was the whole
Mhm.
situation. Everybody fucking works.
Mhm.
So I worked, of course, COVID happened. I thought we were all gonna die. I thought I was gonna give
Mhm.
my son and my mother like a disease that I contracted from working. Like this is what the whole world made us think was gonna happen.
Mhm.
And that didn't happen. That wasn't the case. Like I never got sick. I've never had a cold in my life. Never got COVID. I've never even had a cold. I don't even like, I never even got sick once in my life. But
Mm.
now here I am, and they're like, "Oh, did you want to go back to work?" Like everybody's like, time to go back to work. And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I can't. Like I literally can't go back to work right now. Like I will not waitress again. And like I don't think that I can do that. And I'm not actually willing to do it. Like so a lot of people, I think that that's where the comment that I said about Shaman Sundari came out. I was thinking about the fact that a lot of people in my life, in my like little world, like want me to work. Like
Mhm.
everybody works, right? You can't
Mhm.
not work. Like, everybody has to
Mhm.
work. So I'm not allowed to not work. Even though
Right.
like I don't need to work. Anytime I worked, I wasn't ever producing money. It was always pocket money, honestly. It
Mhm.
was always
Mhm.
pocket money for me. Like I
Mhm.
was never giving them fucking much. Like I couldn't, how much am I gonna produce?
Mhm.
It wasn't I can't earn like actual income. So like
Mhm.
but a lot of people will like frown upon this behavior, like
Mhm.
they expect that I have to work. Like, and if I don't work and if I don't produce money, I'm pretty much just a piece of shit, in the world. Like,
Mhm.
who am I
Mhm.
if I can't produce money? But I can't,
Mhm.
and I have to accept that behavior. I cannot, and I had to say to everybody, I am not at this moment, at this point in my life, I can't
Mhm.
produce money at this point. Like, I'm not able to.
Mhm.
I'm not able, like to do
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
ill-equipped at this point to produce money
Mhm.
for you or me or anybody at this point. Like,
Mhm.
it's not
Mhm.
happening. So
Mhm.
I'm not a workhorse, like,
Mhm.
but in my world, if you're not a workhorse, you're pretty much some kind of a piece of shit. Like
Mhm.
you might as well just fucking they might kick you out. Like my mother
Mhm.
even has threatened me, like, I will kick you out, like I will throw you
Mhm.
out of the, like literally you'll be destitute. Like I will
Mhm.
kick you out of the house and you will have nothing if you can't produce
Mhm.
money. And everything, money makes the world go round, makes the world go round, makes the world go round. And that's what my life is. Money makes the world go round. That's a song
Mhm.
from Cabaret, the play Cabaret.
Mhm. Mhm.
But it's like if you don't produce money, then you're
Mhm.
might as well you're just a piece of shit, at that point.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
because I can't produce money and I can't do that, um, I find myself in a very strange, like precarious situation where I worry that I'm going to become destitute at a certain point. Is somebody
Mhm.
going to help me at any point? I become very dependent. I'm not an independent woman. My mom always
Mhm.
wanted to raise me to be an independent woman. You have to be independent. You have to do this for yourself. Nobody's going
Mhm.
to take care of you at the end of the
Mhm.
day. You have to do this for yourself. Well, at the end
Mhm.
of the day, I can't. I am actually very dependent. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
extraordinarily dependent, and this has
Mhm.
become a very scary situation for me. But I think that I'm trying to clear the air with why I said what I said to Shama
Yeah.
Sundari. It wasn't about her. It was more a projection of my own um
Yeah.
situation, that
Yeah.
I'm not able to produce. Like
Mhm.
this is where I'm at in life.
Mhm.
Like I'm dependent and I can't
Mhm.
uh you know I'm not a
Mhm.
work. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And I have a
Yeah.
son too, and I'm not able to like. I have to depend on other people to help this situation. Like
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I can't earn money in the way that especially in New Jersey. People are like
Mhm.
fucking work, work, work. Like if you don't work,
Mhm.
you're basically you basically are a piece of shit, you know, like
Hmm.
and nobody likes you at that. They're like, "Why don't you get the fuck out of here?" Like,
Hmm.
we're not nobody's gonna take care of you. Like,
Hmm.
you know, I'll be destitute at the end of the day. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I think that that's where I was coming from is just that like my own I don't know where I don't know where I'm going with this. Just that it's really hard to like to live in this world like when that's the situation, you know, that
Hmm. Yeah.
you're in New Jersey and you're not making money. I'm not I am not like a Shama Sundari. I'm so sorry, Shama Sundari. Like if you're listening, I'm not calling you out. I'm saying that I can't be you. I'm not like even Lita used to work so hard. Other people do. They're like, oh, work, 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 work. My mother, that's my mother. Like, oh, we have to produce, produce. I can't. That's not me. It's not me. You know, it's
Hmm.
never been me.
Hmm.
So, um, I'm sort of like kind of like left to go fuck myself. Like I don't know what to do the day. Like I depend on other people to help me
Hmm.
um financially because we live in a world where I mean if it's not for my mother giving me a shelter over my head, where am I going to go out in the streets? I'm going to be
Hmm.
alone, all alone, you
Hmm.
know, like
Hmm.
with nothing, no shelter. I
Hmm.
would have nothing.
Hmm.
So I'm very thankful that my I have my mother who does help me as much as a bitch as she is, and she's not very nice to me, but that's okay. We get along all right. Like not
Hmm.
so great, but you know, she helps me. I mean, she's
Hmm.
my mother, you know, so
Hmm.
mothers are really nice in that way where they help you. But
Hmm.
and she helps my son because I
Hmm.
produce a child out of this deal. Um, so we're all like sort of very dependent.
Hmm.
Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. I just wanted to
You
express
know,
the fact
there's,
that I'm
yeah,
coming from.
yeah. That's great. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad you did. You're sharing it. Yeah. Well, one thing I want to say, there's this thing that I think you could get easily is they call it SSI. It's a social security thing. Do you ever look
Yeah,
into
I
that?
know. Yeah, no, I know. I try to do SSI, but and I can definitely probably qualify for that, but it
Yeah.
does take a little bit of work to get that. You know, like I'm on. Yeah, this luckily the state of New Jersey does help you in certain ways. You know, with
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
financially, like I mean I do like I have I don't want to go into like too much detail, but like
Yeah.
yeah, I get like health insurance and food stamps and stuff. But as far as SSI is concerned, yeah, you have to kind of like go ahead.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a little bit. Like I can get that though.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just the idea because if you
Yeah,
have
no,
these
no.
challenges,
Yeah, of course,
yeah,
of course.
yeah,
I have to just go ahead and
yeah,
go through
and
the
it's
steps number one.
substantial. It's actually substantial, what you can get. So I heard about, people doing that, so, just an
A lot of
idea.
people do it. It
Yeah.
takes time though. Like if I apply, it's gonna take a couple years, but that's okay. It's all retroactive, you know,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
long as you're approved for it. And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I will be approved for it, like for my
yeah, yeah, yeah.
situation.
So, yeah,
I have
yeah.
all
I mean,
the
that you can
yeah.
do. I mean,
That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
yeah, good, good. Yeah, good. Well, go ahead, Lolita. I think you wanted to say something.
Well, yeah, I think it's the same in Europe. In society, you are judged on
Mm,
what you are in
mm,
society.
yeah.
What is your job? What are you doing? That's the
Mm.
first thing
Like,
they
what do
ask.
you do? First thing they ask, what do you do? Oh,
What do
hi,
you
what's your name? Amy. What do you do?
what
Oh, I
doing?
don't
Is
I
there a
exist.
doer?
I just
Yeah,
exist in this world. I
yeah.
don't do any I don't know. What do I do? Yeah, exactly. Okay, Lita,
And
go ahead.
then they give you a certain status and respect, and then you're part of society if you are part of it. I remember for 7 years I had a crash at home. I didn't work outside, but I took kids of others. I took care of babies of others they brought,
Mhm.
and everybody was jealous of me. I had the hardest job I ever did, but everybody said, "Oh, but you're the lucky one. You don't have to go out to work." I started at 5 in the morning, and at 11 in the evening, I was still cleaning to be ready for the next morning.
Like you were
Six,
working. Yeah, you were
yeah,
working the whole time. And
Yeah.
they're judging. I know what you're
and
saying.
they
Yeah.
say you're not working because you stay at home. Uh,
Yeah.
see, I know that feeling. People look down on you because you don't have a status of I'm a nurse, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm So yeah, you feel at the end you're a nothing at all. But in the past, all mothers stayed at home. All mothers stayed at home. It's
Yeah.
because of the industrial revolutions that they start to go work out in the beginning of
Yes.
the 1900s. But in India, all mothers stay at home. So many countries, but here in the West, it becomes a status. You need to have a title. You need to have,
You
um,
have to work. Everybody has to work. Like, and if you don't work, you're less. You're not doing anything. The
yeah.
stay at
But all
home
those
thing.
mothers, all those mothers who stay at home and take care of a bunch of kids, they work.
Exactly. Oh, you don't think that's work? You don't think that's work? Like to do that? Like, I mean, that's a full-time job right there. And they expect them to not only do that, but then work full-time on top of that. And I think that's absolutely absurd to expect a woman to do that, to take care of a household, children, and then to work full-time. I'm sorry, but like, you're
Yeah.
really? Like,
Even,
how are we fucking gonna do that?
well, there are people. My daughter, for instance, she works full time, but she has cleaners who to clean her house. She has people who take care of her kids. So they also only have two hands, you know. They don't have to look down on people who stay at home and do everything themselves. You don't, you don't have to measure each other on what you are doing.
Yeah.
It You measure each other on what how how do you feel? Let's talk
How do
about
you
what we feel, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I love what you're saying, Lolita. We don't have to measure each other on like what we do and how much we produce, like, right? Or how much like income we can make or something. Because like I know my mother is like that. Like we're only based on how much income we make or like what we're producing. And what about like what we just do? Like how we can I think we all can contribute in our own way, and maybe that's enough. I don't know how to say this. I don't know the exact words. Maybe you can
It
help me.
is a choice. It is a choice. We have a choice. So we can take that choice. We can say, okay, I know many people of my age who have a pension who still are working because they never have enough. Okay, it's your choice. I have a very little pension, but I will do it with what I have. I'm satisfied. So if you want to work, that's your thing. Um, oh, but you're still young. You still look young. You should work. No, I don't. Yeah.
And
But
like for
if
me, like I will make it with what I have. Like I can do a lot with very little. Like I'm the kind of person like I love Govinda Dasa so much because I feel like I'm a lot like him. Like I can do with like very little. Like I can make it work. Like I don't need much. Like there's not much I need. I don't need um I need like air in my lungs, you know what I mean? Like maybe a few pieces of paper to write on and just whatever I need. Like, and that's good enough for me. Um, hearing Hari Kata, like, and having this vibration, that's enough for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that much. Like, I don't need much to ride on. Like I can make it with very little. Like let's say like all of a sudden the apocalypse happens, right? Like, oh my god, the world fucking starts ending. I will be one of the people that I can make it because I've gone on so little that I can do it. I'm not going to be like, "Oh, like shocked at the fact that I have like a lot less because I've been already doing with less." And I think that it's really brilliant actually to like work with like less, because then you like if you got nothing to lose. I'm trying to use let me find my words. It's like if you do with what you have, you know what I mean? Like, and if you can make it on like very little, I think that you're doing really well. And some people, like, they just need so much. They want more and more and more. Like, they want more material this, more material that. Like, and everything has to be it becomes material ridden. Like, oh, I need to have, like, a better home, a better clothes, better this, better that. Everything's got to be like more and more and more. Like, I don't, I could do with like a few like pieces of paper, scraps of clothing. I'll go to the Goodwill. Like I could just wear. I'm not into clothing. I'm not into these things. Like I'm really not into material anything. Like I am like kind of like a not like a lowly person. Like I don't know. Maybe Govinda could help me with what I'm saying, but
You're
yeah,
helping me.
no,
You're helping me so much because yeah, you're helping me so much. You reminded me of how much I want to go back into fellowship, 12-step fellowship, because it's generic what you're sharing, and you're helping me so much in what you shared. It brings tears to my eyes. It's a generic crying because it's that desire to share Chaitanya Lila Guru Tattva in the rooms in a subtle, sometimes subtle way, but sometimes just dropping in. Well, we're all suffering today. It's not about alcoholism or addiction to drugs. It's the modes of nature. Just drop that in. So you've helped me. And I think me and Lita maybe go to some meetings when we're traveling around, or Guru Maharaj will meet some people in fellowship, because a lot of the people that are attracted to this Sangha have that fellowship background, and they're this kind of central to where we'll be when come back Gorahari and come to the Midlands. There's a lot of people around there. So yeah, so thank you, Amy. I was writing notes all the.
And how many
Yeah,
times, Govinda, have you been traveling around with nothing? You're just like you have like a couple of beans in a can. You're like you're on a campfire. You're just like you're doing it. You're making it with like very little. And like I love that. I love that like attitude where you can live off of like just live off the land in a sense. Like Govinda is like such a cool person who can live off the land. He doesn't need much. I think Gorhari is a little bit like that too. Like he doesn't need to. He can make it. You don't need to have like so much, and it still can. We could still have this like. Can you tell me what I'm trying to say, Govinda? Yeah.
Well, yeah. When you live on the mercy of Guru, when you embrace Guru, the deeper understanding of seek the kingdom of God is the mercy of Guru Tattva. You're a cake, you're a gatto, Guru Hari. It's so funny, evidently funny, in plain sight, like they say in the world, things are in plain sight. The tyranny's in plain sight. Also in plain sight is that you've been sent by Lord Chaitanya, same appearance day, same disappearance day. What will it take? So when you really embrace that, then everything else comes into effect. You can live on nothing, and you will get assistance from Krishna, from the Vaishnavas. Associating with the living Vaishnavas is the thing. It's so important. But also being able to, which is the essence, because as Bhakti Siddhanta was sharing, when you can see the living Acharya and the devotees, not just in the book, because that's beautiful, but then it's more family, it's more expansive. The word is. Let me read a verse. If I could just read this one verse, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
This is undivided service to the divine couple. The moon rays of loving devotion. It's kind of, it shares what I'm feeling too. But you helped me so much there. You realized so much from me in what you were sharing. Anyway, this verse, Narottam Das. Wherever there are discussions on mundane topics, pains and pleasures, may I restrain from going there. And in light of what we're just sharing, that seems a bit of a paradox. These things are 100% important, these Ishtaghostis. They are important. But when we can just get into the nectar, and sometimes that's actually, although I'm aware of the process of 12-step fellowship, that's actually all I want to do. And sometimes when we all do this, share stuff, we've got to get stuff out, Amy. You do what I've done, and we do, and I've done it to Paddy and Noodles recently. And I also apologize to them, for any stuff that comes out. We all do it. I don't hold any grudges. I don't hold any resentments. Stuff comes out, we move on. but this is the
Mhm.
essence of where we can all live. Wherever there are discussions on mundane topics, pains and pleasures, may I restrain from going there. So what that means to me, I want to stay in the devotional service. I want to mix music, paint music, do classes, do books. And there's not an I realize that I see why devotees expand and take expansions, because we can't do it all in this physical body. It's just like, but it's not like when in the workplace you've got to complete things. It's eternal, so it's okay. We can relax a little bit. It's
Mhm.
eternal, so that's the kind of learning
Well,
thing for me. Yeah.
yeah. One thing discussions of pain and pleasure, but that's all there is. But when you have it, your pains and pleasures, when it's related to Krishna, then it becomes transcendental.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has to happen, otherwise there's no integration. And that's what I've seen in the Hare Krishna movement. They don't get into the purification and the release and how it's related to Krishna consciousness, and because you need both. And I noticed, like, when the devotees express themselves, and that includes noodles. I mean, just recently, noodles and pani, they felt so much better afterwards, in spiritually and every way. And the same thing with Amy, when she got it out and she needed to do that, she felt fantastic. Well, that shows it's necessary to have that integration.
Yeah, like it's
It's
purification.
it's yes, part of the
Yeah,
process.
yeah,
And there's going to be some pains and pleasures in it, and
yeah.
usually little bit of pain, maybe extra pain in there.
A little bit of pain, and we don't always want that, and we can avoid it as much as we want, but sometimes it has to happen, like and
Yeah.
I think it's really is part of the purification process to
Mhm.
let it out. And sometimes it comes out to certain, like for me it came out with Shaman Sundari, and I'm so sorry that it happened to her. Like it was just that was the person that like I
No,
don't know why. I don't
it's
know why
actually
it
good for
happened.
her. You know, it's good for her and everybody,
I don't want her to be
because
mad at me,
yeah,
like, I
well,
mean,
it doesn't matter if there's any offense or any offending
mhm,
or
yeah,
defending. It's
because I
false
feel bad.
ego. It needs
Yeah,
to come out, and that's just how it is. Whenever we're triggered by something, by a
yeah,
person,
trick.
just yeah, and you're not at a place of neutrality in it, and seeing that, oh, the person's expressing that's but because your name is there, and then it triggers, it's false ego identification. So you doing the person a favor, and then when they get off of it, that's when the smoke clears. You're more neutral, and then when you see people doing these things, and they might even use your name, you think, oh well, they're just purifying, getting things out off their chest, and you don't get. But if you're triggered a little bit, that's, hey, hallelujah, man. I am offended. Yeah, yeah, good, good, very nice, very nice. You should thank the person that triggered you. Because
Really?
you're trying
Oh,
to.
so you really
Yeah, yeah,
think that? Like, oh,
she should actually thank you, and maybe someday she will. Um,
no,
and
I
because
feel really
you're just
guilty.
being honest and sharing, and it just her name just happened to be in there, and you know and people like, oh, I'm anyway, we all have to go through it. I mean, if I get triggered, I get triggered, and it's like,
Yeah,
look at,
yeah,
like, okay,
that
what?
makes sense, right? That
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just by the fact that you felt great afterwards, and the other person may have been triggered, and they're going to feel great later, but that's part of the thing. You needed to do that. People are repressing these things because they don't want to offend anybody and all that. But the result actually is you feel great afterwards. And the only reason why you don't feel great when you get the feedback is you believe, like, oh, I did something wrong. See, and that's a false belief. No, you didn't do anything. You did everything right.
I felt
Everything
like
was
I did
perfect.
something very wrong.
Yeah, yeah, of course. That's the fake belief. And then you feel bad because you thought you did something wrong. But actually you're just, you're following the real process of getting things out. And And then when you understand that neutrally, like, oh, okay, this is a dynamic that has to happen, then it's like, oh, okay, great, And then when you'll just do it when it just comes spontaneously, and then people will, if there's anything to react, they'll react and defend their thing, and no, I'm not like this, and no, whatever it is, and you'll see, oh, okay, and you'll help them in their process that way, help
And you
everybody.
you kind of just like hash it out, right? Like you just kind
Yeah.
of hash it out
Yeah,
and
hash it out, and it just
yeah,
you get it out,
yeah.
and then yeah, it should bring you closer.
Well,
Otherwise,
that's what I
unless
was
you're
hoping.
holding stuff, and if you're
I,
holding, that's a problem. Go ahead. What?
No, I absolutely agree with you. I was hoping that like maybe we could just hash it out and like get it out and like although it was on me, like honestly, this was all on me. Like I mean, she's a nice girl. She's living her life. Like that's not her. And I felt like I sort of came at her like on this. It was something that was in. It was a projection on of my part. I mean, like that I felt like oh, I recalled something that she had said years ago and about like oh well I don't have all this time to sit around and watch Gora Haridas, like I have to work, like I have to do all this stuff, and of course it reminds me of like oh well I'm not working right now, and during the time that I've been watching you I haven't been working because it's been since COVID happened. Like I started watching you in 2021. Was 1 year into COVID, like when I started watching you.
Mhm.
So I was not working. Work had stopped for me. Like they were like, "Oh, no more work," like I didn't like jump back into work at that point.
It's not.
Um,
It's not all on you or her or
well,
anybody.
I felt like it was, and then she was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I have to work. I mean, I can't be sitting around all day." What? I'm like, "Well, I wasn't always sitting around all day. Like, I mean, I used to work all the time. Like, all I did was work. I mean, work, work, work was my whole fucking life, like, and it was awful. It was just, I mean, that's all I do. Oh, take care of my kid, work. Take care of my kid, work. Like, it was awful. Like, just that was my life, like." And
Yeah.
then COVID happens. I meet you. All of a sudden, like everything shifts. Like there's a huge shift in like my
Mhm.
entire like mentality by being introduced to this sangha 2021, um and this entire new vibration which I honestly I did not know anything about. Like I didn't know anything about Hare Krishna. Like this is not something I knew about. Like it was very new to me, and I was like, oh my god, I was full force like this is my new life, like this is what I
Yeah.
want to do. Like work is no longer anything that I do. Like what I do is I do this is my work, like this is what I do.
Yeah.
I do uh
Yeah.
this is what I do like now. And other people did not weren't on a board with that. Obviously, they were like, "What do you're being weird." Like, I mean, how every single person that I know in my life thought of me as being weird from
Mhm.
joining this like kind of idea. Like, not that like everybody already knew I was weird, but like I got weirder from like
Well,
doing this. Like, this was
bottom
like a
line
weird.
is, if you're cool with it,
I'm
doesn't
I'm
matter what
I'm
people think.
totally cool with it. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I
Hey,
don't give a shit.
you just, yeah. I mean, you just, that just got to come to terms.
Yeah.
That's just how life is. Not everybody's cool with what each person.
Yeah.
They're not cool with what everybody does. Tough. If you're cool with it,
Tough titties. Yeah.
follow your bliss, man. Whatever that is. Just it doesn't
No.
matter what they think or other people.
I would like to
Oh.
say something. I'd like to
Oh,
say
good.
something.
Yeah, go ahead there.
So if you're if we're you have a tendency to be weird or different, then of course you're going to just go for more weird and different things. That's who you are. What's the problem? There's no problem, You're just being who you are. And you know what? Any of those people that give you a hard time about working or not working when you've had a history of working since you were freaking 14 years old, and then you had a baby and you were a single mom, come on. I wonder how many of those were single parents are
Mm.
single parents and that are giving you a hard time about not working, because that is a big job and a big responsibility, a big worry, a big burden. I mean, yeah, kids are sweet and everything, but it's a huge job having a child. And
Yeah.
then COVID came along and it traumatized. It was traumatizing, really. I mean,
Mm.
even I had well, I before COVID happened, I Gorhari started having more people need him, and I didn't have his attention as much. And I went through some sad times, pretty sad times, and I didn't know if and I was changing. Work was changing for me, and uh, I would travel away and live somewhere I didn't know where I was, or I traveled to one place and a nurse stole drugs and told me blamed it on me, and I got kicked out, and crap like that happens. Yeah, and so anyway, I was also, and then COVID, and then I went to a group that helps you get back on the job. Maybe do something different. And so, but and they were all like, okay, so come do this. And so I get to the office and they go, now you meet all the criteria, but there's one more, and that is that you have to say that you have a mental illness. And I thought about it because my mother had schizophrenia. My brother had a serious mental illness, unless he was on medicines. And I had learned as a family member that mental illness can include mild depression, all the way up to sociopaths, psychopaths, and anything in between. And I knew that I was at a place where I really needed to get back on work and get some help. And if mild depression was considered a mental illness, then I've had some mild depression. So I said, okay, I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks. And so I started doing that with them, and they were paying me, and I was training, and 6 weeks, and then COVID, and then everybody out. I'd go to the grocery store and I'd be like, I'm not wearing a mask, because Gorhari was exposing us to all these videos and telling us what the truth was. And I was like, I'm not wearing a mask. And I'd go to the store and everybody's wearing masks. And finally I'd go to one lady or somebody I felt I could talk to, and I say, do you know anybody that's gotten sick with COVID? Do you know anybody that's died of COVID? No. I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense. Everybody's all paranoid and it ain't even happening. So the whole thing is just kind of, it's traumatizing. That's all I got to say. It's been traumatizing.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree with you, Mary. Like, it was
And
very
I
traumatizing.
took advantage of the resources I could get by saying, okay, I have a mental illness. I don't care what thing I need some help in getting back onto some work. Well, I do have some work, but it's just really part-time, and I'm not there yet. But I do qualify. I'm old enough now to get Social Security. And I only got I got that back then because it was a disability. Mental illness is considered a disability. And so because of that, I was able to get Arizona insurance, basically. And which I didn't, anyway. I had to swallow my pride a little bit, and then I went there's an alternative doctor that's here in town. He's 80 years old, and he does acupuncture. He does chiropractics. He's a medical doctor, but the medicine kicked him out because they didn't like how he didn't like the drugs. He'd rather give supplements and stuff like to people. And he's naturopath, and he uses magnets, and he does adjustments. And he looked at my paperwork. Oh, your mother had schizophrenia. Oh, your brother had a serious mental illness, unless he had medicines. Oh, okay. And he looked at me and he goes, you don't have a mental illness. And I burst out crying. Something deep in me was like, I knew that, but something deep in me wasn't totally convinced, because I kind of grew up with it, and like, people, who knows what the relatives always wanted dad to put mom in the institution, and we didn't have a social life like with mom and all that. And so anyway, I burst out crying, and that doctor goes, well, that was deep. And he brought it out of me. There are people that are gifted like that can touch a place in you. And so just go through your process. Don't worry too much about what other people think. Don't take it personally. It's into discussion. See you later. Bye.
Oh,
You know what
Mary,
that
you're
reminds me of,
so sweet.
Mary?
Oh, she's so sweet. I know. Go ahead, Govinda.
That's really sweet, but it does remind me of when you met Guru Hari somewhere, wherever it was. Maybe it's in Vrindavan, and you did Lila there, Guru Maharaj, and you came in and you wanted to share stuff, and then Guru Maharaj asked you nicely, and then you persisted, wanting to share, and then shared that you went away and you saw this blackness come out. So there's things and people in the world that can help us to a certain extent, but here, this is it's deeper than anything I've found on my journey. What I use fellowship is more really to make friendships with people, but here, that real exorcism is happening. You saw black tar come out of your mouth. That doctor couldn't take you to the next level, I'm sure. Many people in fellowship can't take you to the next level that Guru Haridas is taking us to. The exorcism, this pain and all these things are part of the pastime and lila. And when we see them outside of the, we should, Noodles shouldn't shout at me, I shouldn't shout at Noodles. When we see beyond that, she's my sister, I love her, she loves me, she shouts at me. When you see it from a transcendental perspective, this is deeper. What Gaur Haridas is facilitating is deeper 12-step fellowship, deeper Istagoshti. Nobody's doing this. It's right there in the pastimes we read about, but no one's doing it. Everyone's bowing down to the illusion, diluting Krishna consciousness. It's a movement. What's that movement? We move up. Like transcendental pole dancers, we dance up the pole. Like that.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, this is actually what's going on here is amazing, actually.
Truly amazing. Truly amazing. And on your appearance day, disappearance day, Gaur Hari, it's like
that is kind of like, is that a hint or what? What's going on? Like
it's in plain sight for the whole world to see that you're from Vrindavan. You're from Vrindavan.
It's so high. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Christian, the idea, he disappears on that day, but then there's an appearance, and then we just happen to be in the Lord Chaitanya. Oh, I mean, like really into Lord Chaitanya.
What are the chances? Like, what would be the coincidence of that? Right?
Yeah,
like, this is so brilliant. I love what you just said, Govinda. I love what Mary said. I love what you guys just said over here. Like all of this.
I love what you said too. It was
really
great.
Brilliant. Yeah. And I watched this show, Young Sheldon, and Mary reminds me of Sheldon's sister Missy on Young Sheldon. Like I'm sorry that I don't know if anybody watched this show, Young Sheldon, but Mary, you literally remind me of Sheldon's twin sister. Her name is Missy, so he has a twin sister, Missy, and you literally remind me of Missy. Like I feel like you're Missy, like, and she's a great character on the show. And I don't know why, but you're like reminding me so much of this character, like wonderful character, just so like full of life and like just she's like. She has the gumph, like that oomph to like, like that she can do it, like Sheldon's like, oh, like I can't, he's shell shocked a little bit, like sort of like me, like, oh, he can't do it, like he's having a hard time, and Missy's like, come on, and I just feel like you're like funny, Mary, Missy, like I feel like you're that character, like a little bit like that character in a sense, like where
Well,
you're that.
I do deal with my I don't think I can do this times too. You know, I
No,
definitely
you're pretty
I have my
strong.
down times, but if I have an opportunity to encourage somebody and I've got the energy for it, I'd rather do that than anything. You know,
Mm.
I really, I really like being also a cheerleader in a way, in a quiet kind of a
You
way.
are. You are a cheerleader. You are a cheerleader.
You want to see a
More than
picture of
I
me when
am.
I was a You want to see a picture when I was a cheerleader in high school?
Yes, I would love that. Mary was an actual cheerleader. I was never a cheerleader. She was literally a cheerleader.
She
Like
made
I
the
love,
team.
yeah. She made the team. I didn't. Mary actually made the
Well,
team.
I just got lucky, I guess.
OMG.
Is that you there, right there, with the
You?
clapping?
Oh my
Yep,
God.
that's me. I'm cheerleading.
Wow. That's
Wow, look at that.
I'm
oh
a
my God.
I'm a
That's
I'm a
so
senior.
cute. Oh, you're a senior in high school.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and I was one of the smaller ones, I got thrown around by the guys.
Did they were you up on the pyramid? Did they put you like they
Yeah,
hold you?
I was at the
You're on
top.
the top.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the top. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was
Wow.
a lot of fun until one guy came in new and he dropped me. And then I'm like,
No.
you gotta start working on the barbells.
Bad moment when you get dropped, right?
So,
That's
hey,
funny.
you know what? I have to get ready for. I have to take this trip over to Belgium here. So, I unfortunately I got to go.
When?
Oh boy.
When are
I'm
you
going
doing that?
today. You know, and this
Today?
morning. Yeah, this morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
you're
got to finish
traveling?
packing and pack the computers and all that
How
stuff.
much time does it take to travel there? Like, what do you have to go on a train?
It's about 5 hours, I think, 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, it's that long? Oh my God. So you have to go on a train for 5 hours
Well, I'm going
or
by
a plane?
car, and
Oh, car.
then we link up with a train to go
Okay.
over to the other Belgium place or tunnel. I don't know
Are
what
you
they do.
going to Lolita? Is that where you're going to,
Yeah,
or where you?
yeah, I'm
Oh,
going to be in
cool.
Lolita. You'll see me in that house there. Yeah, you'll see me run to the bathroom like her, like.
Oh, that's so exciting! Awesome.
With her little feet. I'll you have my big feet. I'll go with.
You're gonna.
Those-
And Lolita Madava lives in the same complex, a different apartment, right?
Yeah, I
Lolita
will
Madava.
go with the devotees in another flat. We rented a flat. Yeah. I rented a flat
Oh, okay.
500 meters further. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is so exciting! I'm so my heart just went like into my throat. Like I'm so excited that.
Yeah, it's going to be another
Yeah.
adventure here for next week.
Oh my God, Gorahari is like the adventure man. He's such a pirate. He's.
Yeah, you got to be a pirate, man, to pull this one off here. Okay, so we'll see you guys a little bit later, and you'll see me in that seat there later. Mhm.
Hey, thanks,
Okay.
guys. Thank you so much, Mary, Govinda. Thank you,
All of you,
everybody.
man.
Lolita,
Yeah.
that was
And
so
you know,
awesome.
Amy, all of your talking is paying off because it's given me also some courage to speak up too.
Really?
You know?
Oh, Mary,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. And
awesome.
Mary, you should come
Yeah.
and visit UK. Come visit UK sometime, you know? If you
She's
feel it.
such a, what a doll.
If you
She's
feel
such
it,
a
man.
doll. I know.
Yeah, if you
I
feel it.
love that. I love that, Mary Sachi.
Yeah, come,
Yeah,
we'll
well,
look after you.
I'd like to bring Amy along with me.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Both of you, come to UK. I got no money to look after you, but we'll be looked after. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We've got a nice log cabin. There is a nice log cabin. There's two actually, and you would have a lovely time in Wales. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's
You got
off grid. It's
firewood, right?
wild.
You got
Oh, that's
firewood,
my
right?
dream.
Yeah, we get firewood.
Yeah,
Collect firewood.
Nice. You'll be warm over there at least.
Yeah, come and visit Mary. And
I'm plenty warm, thank you.
yeah,
We got a food bank down the street.
Yeah, we got food banks, and you'll like it, man. You'll like it. Yeah, it'd be good to see you, man. We could maybe do a kirtan together this time. You know,
Yeah.
you know, it'd be
Well,
nice, man. You could
guys
show me
have
how to
fun.
play harmonium.
You guys
And I'll
have
adapt
fun
it.
this time.
Yeah,
Let's
come
see.
over to UK, man. Come over,
And
Mary.
Mary,
You know.
Mary will play the
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet.
Okay. Okay.
Amy, and Amy will come someday. We'll give her a Krishna doll to put on her lap for the whole trip to give her. Okay, so see you guys later. Have a good morning or night or whatever it is. Amy, it's
Thanks,
probably
guys.
really early
That was
morning.
really awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Laters.
Thank you.
Laters.